Eric Von Mason is cooking shit up.
What is going on? Welcome to this edition of the Heatwave Spotlight. Today, we've got a very special guest. I can't remember which episode it was, but I was talking to one of you, and the chats were just lighting up, talking about Stanley Ipkiss, his music, his beats, and they were like, everybody was like, we definitely got to get this guy on the show because what he's sent into the Heatwave so far has been amazing. And I don't know, maybe I missed an episode or something, but I always send a form and ask people to send in their music beforehand, before the interview. And I had a chance to listen to some of it. All I got to say is get your stank face ready, because this is like the most soulful music I think I've ever heard. We're going to talk a little bit about the projects that he's been working on. We're going to talk about his producer process. We're going to talk about inspirations and influences and all that kind of stuff. So please help me welcome Stanley Ipkes. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Not much. So Stanley Ipkes, that's the bad guy from The Mask, right?
He's not the bad guy. He was the I guess the hero, I guess.
Oh, it was like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was a good guy. He was a good guy, Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. I remember that name was from that movie, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, The Mask. So my real name is Stanley. So when that movie came out, everybody just started calling me Ipkiss from the movie. So it never left me. So I just stuck with it.
All right, just the name stuck. Hey, that works.
Yeah.
And are you in so I saw you sent me a video with hold on, let me see if I can remember her name. Here, I'll put it up on the screen real quick if it lets me do it. Gail Campbell. Right.
Yes.
So that's the name of your project, Let My People Go. And you sent me this video, and you guys were in Newark, New Jersey. Is that where you're from, or where are you right now?
Yes, I'm in Newark, New Jersey, born and raised. That video was shot downtown Newark.
All right, cool. Let me see who's in the chats already. Oh, we got Prabhu. Oh, Prabhu saying what's up. I don't know if you know who Prabhu is. Yeah, but he's a musical genius as well. So big ups to Prabhu.
Nice.
All right, cool. So I guess one thing I ask everybody on the show, who are your musical influences? Like, what made you want to get into music?
I come from a musical family. Everybody in my family has some type of musical talent. So I was raised around it. But if you want to talk like maybe inspirations or so, my first one was my uncle. I used to watch him play the drums in church. My uncle and my mother and my grandmother, they all had a gospel group. So, coming up, I used to watch them, perform or whatever. Getting older, my influences was Michael Jackson. Huge influence. That's like number one to me. And, more so as far as producing was Timbaland. I'm a huge Timbaland fan.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I'm just saying his beats to me. He like kind of made me not afraid to be different. You know, his beats was
Yeah.
always different from everyone else's. So he was like, you know, I'm like, if he's not afraid to, you know, put a baby in the beat, you know, birds and chirping all that stuff, you know, hey, everything is possible.
Yep. That somebody from Aaliyah?
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember that one.
sick. That beat was sick. Like that blew my mind when I heard that baby crying in the background.
Yeah, and he had crickets in another one of her songs. Yeah, so
One
I
in a
actually
million.
yeah, 1 in a million. I actually had an opportunity to meet Timberland. I used to be in an R&B group back in the day. We were called Outsiders for Life, and he did a couple songs with us. And we actually have a duet with Aaliyah, so I got to meet her as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and some people might argue, or I'm going to say something, and people in the chat might argue with me. I feel like Timberland is probably the biggest influence on trap music, or not trap and drill, because he's the one that started all those syncopated rhythms before anybody else was doing it, like Up Jumps the Boogie and things like that early in his career.
Yeah.
And nobody was really doing that yet. So I feel like he's like the grandfather of modern rap in a way.
Yeah. He kicked off like a lot of things to me, and it was like, you know, when I first heard his music, it was just like, what is this? Like, how is this man making this stuff? So I'm like, you know, again, it kind of inspired me to be different from everyone else.
Your music, so are you a drummer? I'm just gonna ask, are you a drummer? Because your drums sound live, like it's some of your tracks.
I am a drummer. I haven't played drums in many years, but I started off playing drums. Again, I used to watch my uncles and them play the drums. I used to play drums in church. You know, I used to play the drums in church. I used to sneak in my uncle's house and set up his drums and practice on them. But again, I haven't played in many years. But yes, I am a drummer.
You know what? Let's get right into it. Let's play one of your songs. I want to start with the music. Normally, I talk for a while, you know, for a good like 20 minutes before we jump into it. But I feel like everybody really wants to hear your stuff right off the jump. So let me ask you what you want to play first. Do you want Balance, Champion, or DOT?
Let's go with Balance. I like Balance.
All right. And it said Balance 1. Is that the name of the track? Or is it
No,
just Balance?
It's like when I put the same name into because I sent the music from my phone. So when I put the same name into it, it'll put a number next to it. So it's just Balance.
I thought that was what was going on, but I thought I'd double check.
Yeah.
All right.
It's double.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's play it. The title's going to say Balance 1, but it's just called Balance. So let's go ahead and play
just called Balance.
You are now tuned into an Ipkiss production.
man, I got so many questions. First of all, I think I can speak for a lot of people in the group. Like Heatwave, some of us do it as a hobby. Some of us do it, we have a regular 9 to 5, and we like to lay down beats in our spare time. Some people are maybe younger producers just starting out, are thinking about making a career out of it, things like that. I could say a lot of us wish we could do that. Right? Like, the drums sounded live. So were those like, did you play the drums on that one, or is it just going through a DAW and you just know what drums are?
Everything is through a DAW.
Oof.
Everything is through a DAW. I like live drum sound, so I have like a lot of live drum hits or whatever. So
yeah.
The stock sounds, it's cool for certain beats, but I like live instruments.
Yeah. Was the guitar live? Because it sounded live.
No, that wasn't live. No.
Are you kidding?
None of it was live. None of it was live.
Woo! Hold, I gotta play a little bit more. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me hop. See if I can hop to the guitar. I'm trying to get to the guitar part. Like that. There it is. That wasn't a live guitar?
No.
That wasn't live? Oh man. What plug-in is it? what sound is it? We want details.
The guitar was a sample.
Oh, okay.
The guitar was a sample. I put my own drums in it. The little sound effects, I put those stuff in there, but the guitar part was a sample.
Oh, I got you. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it sounds like
I haven't really had that, but a little bit, but I haven't really had the opportunity to like play with a live band, so I try to make it sound as live as possible myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded good. One thing I can say about, because I've got a chance to hear all your music before this. One thing I can say about it is you can hear the history in it. Like,
oh yeah,
that was pulling so many influences from like 70s music.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, the Isley Brothers, maybe. I don't even know. Like, do you go back and like listen to vinyls, or do you go back in time and listen to some of that old music as inspiration?
Old music is really my favorite type of music to listen to.
Okay.
Like that's my favorite type. Like I the new music, it's okay, but I like old music. Like I'm like, I may not look it, but I'm in my 40s.
Right. You don't look it.
Yeah, so so I like, I'm from, I ain't gonna say that era with the Isleys, all that, but I grew up on all that music from my parents, grandparents or whatever, and it just never left me. That type of music to me is lost today. So
yeah,
I just keep it with me. I always listen to it.
Okay.
And it's just there. It's just in me.
Yeah. Do you use drum pads? Is that how you get it to? No. Okay. Just like
I learned from the PlayStation 2. I used to use Music Generator on the PlayStation 2, right?
Yep.
So the way they did it, it was like you had to place every kick, every snare, every drum in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I never transitioned into the drum pads. I always use that method. So I'm just continuing that method as far as putting every kick, every snare, every hi-hat, all that in myself. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I never had an MPC or whatever, but that to me is the fun part.
Yeah.
All the work I put in it.
Mm-hmm. What are you using now? FL Studio?
FL.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Just double checking. Mm-hmm. Most of us use FL Studio because we came from a group called FL Gangland. Did you ever do anything in that group?
Yeah, I was in there a couple of times. Okay. Started getting a little weird, but I was in there.
Okay. All right. So FL, that's good. We can ask like FL questions in. So you just go into piano roll and like adjust your velocity for everything and all. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a lot of work.
Little by little. Yeah, it is. It is. I again, that's just all I knew from coming from the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I never really transitioned into the MPC or drum pads or whatever like that. I never used a keyboard.
Yeah.
I just do it all on the computer.
Okay. That's what a lot of us do too. Sometimes it's hard to get like it's so quantized. It's hard to get like the beat in the pocket. So do you ever like just kind of etch things over a little bit? You know what I mean? Like use the
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't quantize everything. I mean, I don't want it to sound, too robotic,
Yeah.
So I don't quantize everything. Sometimes I leave the mistakes. Sometimes change the beat all up and it sounds good to me. So I like to have it sounding natural.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely noticed that in your beats. Let's play another one. I want to hear more. So let
Sure.
me see what hold on. Let me see what we got. We got DOT and Champion. Which one would you like to play next?
DOT is actually a Gail Campbell song.
Okay.
And Champion is another beat, so I'll let you pick song or beat.
I think everybody wants to hear Gail sing. Like if they saw the video I saw, so some people sing and when they're done, you're like, they meant that shit. That's Gail.
Mm-hmm.
Gail is amazing.
She puts everything into her music, and that's one thing I appreciate about it because I do the same thing with my music. So that's that. In that way, we work well together because we work hard. We put everything into our music, and it comes out great.
You can tell. Now this one's a little bit longer, but I'm gonna play it. If anybody, while we're playing this beat, if anybody in the chat has any questions, Aaron Island, I see you in here. Stanley Ipkiss mentioned Michael Jackson as one of his influences as well. I think a lot of people, I mean, whose lives did he not touch, right? Aaron Island's a big fan of The Wiz, so we had him on earlier, and
oh, nice,
and Quincy Jones and all of that. So I mean, I can't think of anybody that influenced pop music more or R&B or soul or anything more than those guys. So
yeah.
All right. So if you have any questions for Stanley, go ahead and post them in the chat while we listen to this one.
You are now tuned into an Ipkiss production.
No, not yet. I'm just watching.
Amidst lights, amidst to know. Settle all accounts before me. Let's clean this mess begin again. Cause I'm only lying and say fine to a talisman. I say yeah, they subscribe to but witness the pain. And I know it's the fate that they say. What is this thing here? Settle all accounts. Begin again. Begin again.
Man, woo! Oh, I miss real music, man. That was awesome. That
we
takes
all
me-
do.
Yeah,
We all do.
yeah,
But it's a lot of good music out there. You just gotta look for it.
yeah.
It's
That
a
is
lot.
true.
I do hear just like the people in the chats, like I hear you know, when they submit their beats to the platforms that we all on.
Mhm.
It's a lot of it is dope. A lot of it is really dope. So it's a lot of good music out there. You gotta you know, search for it.
Yeah, you just got to know where to find it. That one reminded me of
Mhm.
like, you know, like when the Roots did a collab with Jill Scott back in the day. Like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
Like you could tell like when a drummer's in charge of the music. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Cool. All right. So why was it called DOT? I didn't catch how it was titled or why it was titled that.
So I made the beat, just having fun or whatever. Sent it to Gail. She wrote the song. That part where she says ...
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have a name for the song, so we just said we just call it that.
Oh, all right. And I like the message
Yeah.
in the song. It's like really positive and it's like all about love, right? Do you do a lot of or
Definitely.
most of your songs, you know, that you do with her or in general, you know, on a positive vibe?
Oh, she's also like me, like as far as whatever comes to her mind, like it could be anything. Like the first album we did was mostly about she went through that relationship, and you know, it was mostly her heartbreak, how she healed from it, or everything she was going through, you know. Then so with this album, it was much more fun. So it was like,
Ah,
yeah, so it's whatever happens. You know, she did some rapping on the album. She did, you know, some opera. You know, this one was just more fun. So it's not mostly positive, but she's a positive person. So
gotcha.
you'll hear that a lot.
It's all about what's going on in your life and what emotion you need to get out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. All right, we have a
Whatever she's into and whatever she's going through, she writes about it.
oh, gotcha. Who's this in the chat?
Yes, this is a Vegeta shirt.
Oh, gotcha. What's a Vegeta shirt?
No,
What is that?
It's from the show Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He knows.
He knows.
It's
Yep.
Vegeta. Yes.
OG McNeil. He knows what's up with that. And is this person related to you? I'm gonna say Bass Willis. BAS.
That's my wife.
That's your wife. All right. Welcome to
my
the
wife.
chat. Did I
Yes.
pronounce your name? Did I pronounce her name right? Let me ask that.
You
BAS.
pronounce it however you read it. They always get her name wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize for that.
It's all right.
Yep, Aaron Island likes the shirt as well. He's a Dragon Ball Z fan, and he's asking, do you have a template you start with, or do you start from scratch every time you cook up?
From scratch. Everything's from scratch.
Yep. That's why do you do it that way?
I never know where the beat's going to take me. I try so many genres, so many whatever. I never know what's going to take me. So
yeah,
I always start blank, clean slate.
I'm similar. I work similar to you. Like I go where the beat takes me. Aaron Island is when we talked with him in the last chat, he works a little bit differently. Like he's got the whole song in his head before he sits down and starts putting it on an FL Studio. Like he's got
interesting.
Yeah. So it's just amazing, like all the different ways, and his beats are fire. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of his stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, everybody's got their own way of working, so that is really interesting.
I like to challenge myself doing different genres or combining them, so to speak. Is just that's just the fun part is in music, challenging yourself and trying new things. I always try something new.
Okay.
So to me you have to start from scratch. Like I can't have a let's say you have a template of hip hop. You can't start an Afro beat with a template of hip hop.
Right.
So you just go straight.
Yeah. Okay. I always ask this of any producer that's on this show. Let's say there's somebody watching it and they're new to producing. What is your as they start learning their craft, learning how to use whatever DAW they're using and all of that, what's your biggest piece of advice to give that person?
Practice.
Okay.
Practice. If to me this is something I love doing, so I can't stop doing it. So I practice an awful lot.
Right.
And I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So it just stick with it. Like don't stop. Stick with it. Eventually learn new things. You're gonna eventually get better at it. Your creativity is gonna start flowing. Get out, and sometimes you gotta stop also. You gotta step back, gather a few thoughts, whatever, but then always come back with a clear mind and try something new. Also challenge yourself. That helps, sharpen your knife.
Yeah, most definitely. And I'll add to that, don't wait to be inspired to start working on your beats. Like set time in the day and make it a habit. You know what I mean? Like you don't always have to have this grand inspiration that comes from the heavens before you start sitting down and start creating, right? Like make it a habit so you're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Gail Campbell. I was gonna say Gail Campbell's in here. She's in the chat.
Yeah, she's here.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just forgot what I was gonna say. I normally, as soon as I wake up, I start just trying something. Just start whether it's a drum pattern or a melody. As soon as I get up, I just start working on music.
Yeah.
Whenever I can, between life, work, everything. But whenever I can, I try and practice and sharpen my skills.
Awesome. Gail, we just listened to one of your songs. Amazing voice. And I watched that. Everybody, there's a link in this description to a YouTube video of Gail Campbell in the middle of Newark, New Jersey, singing her face off. So like check that out. Don't tune out of this live, but as soon as it's over, go check that out. One of the best singers I've ever heard. Amazing. Aaron Island has a question. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was about to say the same thing I was going to say as far as the mixing chain question.
Yeah. Yep, that's what we're going to.
Yeah, so I just really got into mixing. Like for a long time, I used to have other people do mixing, and I never really learned it. My mixing method is like real simple. All I do, I take the highs out of the melodies. I mean, my bad. I take the lows out of the melody, like the low frequencies, and I take the highs out of my bass and kick. That's it.
That's half.
That's it.
That's most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the most important thing I learned when I really wanted to learn the mixing. So a friend of mine, that was the most important thing that he told me. Like, just take the lows out of all your melodies and your sound effects, everything. Then take the highs out of your kicks and your bass.
Yeah.
A good level, and that's it. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I don't have like a extensive plugin game. Like, I don't use a lot of plugins besides maybe a Maximus or what you call that, a gross beat for like effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the effects, reverb, all that. But mixing, that's all I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mix vocals as well?
But I'm not that good at it. Like,
That's the hard part, man. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
vocals is a whole new ball game. Like that, I've tried, doing all this stuff, and I watched other engineers do it, and it's just like amazing to me, like how they make your voice pop out like that. So
yeah,
it's just crazy.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So I was never good at vocals.
You're getting a lot of love in the chats, by the way.
I see.
Obviously, Gail's in there. We got some new people. Nevia Music saying you're the king.
Oh, Nevea.
Oh, Nevea. Okay. All right. All right.
Okay, she said make sure you call her queen.
All right. All right. Queen Nevea.
You gotta call her Queen Nevea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not a problem. So let me ask. Yeah, I don't know if you'll have an answer for this, but do you have any, for fellow producers, do you have any like gems, any secret sauce, anything where you're like, I do this or I do that to make my beat sound so incredible?
I don't. No, I really don't have an answer for that as far as a gem to make your beat sound incredible. I mean, your talent is your talent.
Mm-hmm.
Your methods are your methods. I really can't say it's the equipment you use, because it's not. It's you, because that equipment can't do anything without you doing it. So it's not the equipment. It's not the computer or anything. It's just you and your practice.
Yeah.
And your love for it. So I would say just the more you do it, the more you challenge yourself, the more you try things you never did before. That'll help. Don't be afraid to try new stuff, like stuff you never did before. Like a lot of times I like to go out the box, like to try like dubstep and the Afro beats or whatever. I know most producers don't touch on that stuff. It's fun to me. It's fun to me. So always try something different, and then you can incorporate that within your primary genre, and you never know what you come up with.
Right. We have on Saturday nights we have an event called Back to Back. It's hosted by EVM the Freshman and Drew Burford or Brainiac the Maniac. That's what their producer names. And sometimes they'll come up with challenges to get all of our producers out of our comfort zone, just to try a new genre, try a new thing, try a themed beat, something like that. I think they have one coming up. I don't see either one of them in the chat right now, but I think there's one coming up for Halloween season, right? Where maybe you sample your favorite Halloween song or try to make it spooky. I don't know. But
yeah,
if you're always doing the same, like we had one for 80s TV theme shows or something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the last one? Outer space, like just different themes. So if you're somebody that's always making a drill beat, you got to kind of step back and relook at the way you create beats and come up with a new way. And I think you just have to do that every once in a while. Just completely do something off the rails to learn something new.
Yeah, it'll help with your drill beats. I mean, you can probably create a whole new genre of drill if you try like to incorporate, something else, 80s, 90s, whatever other genre there is. You can incorporate that within your music.
Absolutely. Mike Melendez says, yeah, there's a Halloween challenge. Mike Melendez, let me know if it's this Saturday or we're gonna wait a Saturday. And then OG McNeil, he's the one that won that space challenge. Good job, OG McNeil. All right, let me ask. I always like to ask this as well. If you could, spend a day with anybody, living or not living, to just learn from or to speak to or anything like that, for music wise, who would that be?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. And why is that?
Well, I've always wanted to, even though in some of his interviews he would tell you his process, but I always wanted to see his process of writing and creating music.
Right.
Like he's another one that does, I would say, different genres. People put him in pop. I don't just see him as pop. You got to remember the Black Michael.
Yep.
You got to remember that from back then all the way to now. It's like so many genres he done. So just that creative process of when he makes his music in the studio. Like one of my favorite songs is Earth Song, right? So I always try to, when I listen to that song, I always try to imagine him in the studio recording that. Like, what was his thinking process? Or what was his creative process? How was he controlling the band? All that stuff I always wanted to learn.
And I wonder, especially later, he's a dancer too, right? Like I feel like when he created his music, he had the dances in mind and the visuals in mind. Like it wasn't just creating a song; it was creating an experience. Yeah. The whole thing would be an experience. That's just something you'll probably never forget as a musician. Yeah. That would be cool to sit with Michael Jackson for a minute. Yeah. I like that answer. All right, so let's get let's get into the last beat real quick. So while I'm asking this beat, or while we're playing this beat, anybody, if you have a question for Stanley Ipkiss, before we get to that, Aaron Island has a question. What's your favorite MJ album? He was listening to Off the Wall.
Sure.
So what's your favorite Michael Jackson album?
Thriller.
Oh, you said Thriller. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Thriller's a tough one to top.
You're not going to top that.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I'm surprised you didn't say The Wiz. Oh, I guess that's not a Michael Jackson album. That's a soundtrack.
It's the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And everybody else saying Off the Wall too, and Thriller. So let's hop into it.
There was this debate with Off the Wall and Thriller. So someone asking me which one is even though Thriller is my favorite, it's still a balancing act with Off the Wall and Thriller. Like I'm not going to choose because it's just too hard to choose between those two.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Maybe you could pick could you pick your favorite songs out of those two and then maybe put a ultimate? Well, I guess he's got a greatest hits album.
He got so many greatest hits album. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, there's Aaron Island again, Quincy. Yes, sir. All right. If anybody can think of any, while we're listening to this beat, if you have any questions for Stanley, go ahead and play it. This one is called Champion. So here we go.
Yeah.
You are now tuned into the Ipkiss production.
Woo!
Man. All right. I didn't see any questions in the comments. I just saw a lot of fire emojis and blown minds. So based on that, do you have anything you want to tell everyone, any shout outs to make or anything like that?
Oh, well, shout out to everybody in the chats. You know, I appreciate all y'all. Shout out to Gail, Nevere, everybody. You know, it's so much going on. I can't really name everybody.
Sure, yeah.
Drew, G. McNeil. You know, everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to you, like right here. This is my wife. She's like, what about me? She's like right next to me, chatting and stuff. I saw a question that said, how'd you even think of this?
Yeah.
Where were you at? What? I get a lot of questions like that. Like, where was your mind at? I don't know. Like, I kind of I space out like a lot of times creating music. I don't try to focus on the music. I just let the music talk.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just let it speak. Like I start off with, again, maybe a drum pattern or melody, and then things just happen. I don't think.
Yeah, I like to use the analogy of like I think it's like tell me if this sounds right to you, but like you got a slab of marble, right? You always start with a big brick of like a perfect square of marble, like a cube. And you start chipping away at it, and as you're chipping away, you're like, oh, this kind of looks like this. And then you start chipping away, and then next thing you know, you got this work of art, as you're going, because you just start to see things as it develops. Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
everyone would see something different with that, like chipping away. Like, let's say you're chipping away at it, and someone else looks at it, it will look different to them than it would to you, because they would see like maybe a face, or maybe you would see like a bird or something. I don't know, but everyone sees something different. That's why I like a lot of times with the sample challenges, you give 10 producers the same sample, and they're gonna all come up with something different.
Yeah,
you look at a painting, you see something different. So I don't think in the process, I just let it happen.
Yeah, a blank dodge or canvas, and you just start throwing paint on there, and then it starts to look like something, and then you just craft it from there. So Aaron Island, he says he thought you were doing some crazy stuff with your mix, but like you just
no,
cutting out the lows, cutting out the highs. Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Yep,
that's it. That's I don't have any special plugins, or I don't know any secrets. That's all I do.
Yeah, I do want to mention this. So we're kind of getting towards the end of the show, and at the very end, I'm going to give everybody a breakdown of the events that we have and all that kind of stuff. But I want to make sure I call out everything for you, you and Gail first. So you are going to be performing live, or both of you, Gail and Ipkiss, at the Montclair Brewery.
Oh yeah, well,
Sunday.
It's going to be her. I don't perform, but we're a team, so of course she includes me. It's going to be her performing at the Montclair Brewery this Sunday, October. Saturday. It's Sunday. You stay out of this. It's Sunday. The 16th. Come out, whoever can make it. We go. I guess I'm gonna go live, so I'll try and tag everyone I can, or just come back.
And that's in Newark.
What's that? Yes. No, it's in Montclair.
In Montclair, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael said, do I prefer? Yes. Do I prefer battle beats? Yes. I'm kind of mixed with it. Like I like battle beats. I like battle beats. I love battling. It's it's always good to sharpen your skills. It's always good to I like different stuff. I can't say I'm really like focused on one type of beat.
Right. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's I like battle beats. Don't get me wrong. Like I haven't like I would say I just started making beats for battling. Like normally I would just make the beats and they'll be good enough to battle with. But like recently, like I guess within like the past maybe 6 months or so, I've been making beats for battling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, battle beats are fun to make.
Yeah.
Fun to make.
I don't know why, but the violent ones do the best in battle.
always. Like I go again I go for any genre that that I see chipping away at that stone. So it is what it is. I don't know.
Oh, Drew's asking. He says he's actually in the New Jersey area. So Drew, I'm just gonna pop this back up here for you. Montclair Brewery in Montclair, New Jersey, October 16th at 7:30. There we go.
I'm out, Drew.
And Drew, maybe you can answer this for us because Mike wasn't sure. What night is the Halloween challenge? Let us know which night that is. I wasn't sure if it was this Saturday or next Saturday. All right, cool. One thing I do want to call out also is in the description, you're gonna see Let My People Go by Gail Campbell is their most recent project that they've done together. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on everything. So just support, check it out. Listen,
Thanks.
Add it to your playlist. All right, well,
you will not be disappointed.
No, I've got it on my playlist. I haven't listened to all of it yet, but I'm a fan now, so I definitely will be. Of both of you, of your production and her voice and emotion, just incredible.
We have Let My People Go, which is the recent album, and then we also have an album called Bloody Waters, which is her first album that I
Bloody
produced
Waters.
also. Yes.
All right. Sounds like that one probably wasn't as positive. Maybe going through something back then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. It helps out someone who's going through something like that. So I look at it in a positive light.
All right, cool. Drew says that the Halloween challenge is on the 29th. All right, awesome. So let me get I'm gonna for anybody that's new to Heatwave, we are a community of producers at different varying levels of skill level and all that kind of stuff, but we just come together, we have events, we support each other. We're all about sending in music, giving a listen, that type of thing. You won't get roasted in our group. Like some other groups, you might get joked on a little too much and be like, I'm never sending a beat again. Like, we don't do that. We're here just to support you, and we may give a little advice on maybe how to make your next beat better or make that particular beat better, but we're not about that. So if you want to send something in, we have two major events. We have the Heatwave the Hotspot. The Heatwave Hotspot on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And that's where we actually vote on the beats 1 to 10. There's a cash prize. Like, the admins give some of their money. It always starts off at $25. And then as the event goes on, people add money as it goes. We've had it as high as $141 one time. So you could walk away with money just for sending a beat in. If you happen to have like one of the hottest beats in it, and it gets voted into the VIP, and then it's basically the hotspot beat of the week. And then the winners of those hotspots.
Roast and makes them better.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. We're not about.
I like that. Bring all the roast. Bring it all.
Yeah. And and then the winners of those hotspots enter a tournament as soon as we have 8 weeks, called the Tournament of Fire, where our last winner was S. Shadow. Winner before that was Aaron Island. They both walked away with around $300. Like by the end of it all, like everybody pays $20. It's in the tournament, so it starts off at 160. Then other people donate as it goes along. So if you happen to have, if you're the hottest of the hottest, you can walk away with money just for having hot beats. And yeah, you're not allowed to enter though, Stan. Just kidding. Send your stuff in.
I was looking for the next one because I seen you put up the winner of the last one, but I didn't know what was happening. So I tried to look into all the information I can as far as your next one.
Yeah, it's Friday night at 9:00. Here, I'll give you the this is the email where you send it in, heatwavesubmissions@gmail.com. And I'll send it through Facebook as well, just so you have it. But yeah, it's every Friday night. So are you in the group? Are you like a member? I don't even know. Are you a member, Stanley?
I think I am. I see what comes up. So I think I'm in a group. What group is this? The Heatwave group?
Yeah, Heatwave.
Yeah, I'm in this group.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. So you should see notifications when they pop up. But it's every Friday night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
All right. And then Saturday night we have the back-to-back. It's most nights it's a vibe. It's just like send in whatever you want to send in. If there's a beat you want to send in that you don't necessarily want to get voted on or don't want to compete or anything like that, and you just want to vibe out, we do that. And it's called back-to-back because you can send in more than one, and we'll showcase two of your beats in a row. I
think I did that the first time I saw you go live. Me and my wife stood up maybe late one night and we fell asleep like old people. Then we just heard my beat playing. Then we woke up. But that was the first time I sent something to you.
Okay, we'll send something again. Yeah, the more you send in, the better. It's always inspiring to hear great producers. I said in our last Tournament of Fire, you're either intimidated or you're inspired after listening to all that, right? Like, so send it in, please.
That to me is the best thing about battling. I get inspired when I hear these great producers. Like some of them be so good. I'm like, how did you do that? And it helps me learn. Like I never go into a battle thinking I'm going to win. Yeah, I know I'm going to learn, but I never go thinking I'm gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the battling part that I like, learning from all the producers I hear.
Yeah,
picking their brains.
Yep. And then the other part of the Saturday night, sometimes we have challenges. So on the 29th, we have a Halloween challenge. I don't have all the details of it because I haven't really heard Drew or EVM's announcements on that, but I assume it's just Halloween themed beats, but I don't know if you need to sample like a movie or anything like that. So we'll get details. If you go to the back-to-back, they'll let you know all the details on that one. But that's it. It's been a great interview. I want to thank you so much for popping in and sharing your knowledge.
Thanks for having me, man. This was fun. I appreciate it.
All right. Awesome. This has been Stanley Ipkiss, and we'll see you next time on the next Heatwave Spotlight, where we're going to have S. Shadow, the winner of that last Tournament of Fire. We're going to have him on as a guest. But until then, I'll see you later by the way of the wave.